What would you say if I told you that succeeding as an independent artist isn't nearly as complicated as you want it to be? There is no shortage of information out there on the internet explaining to us how to succeed as an artist. There are a lot of different conflicting ideas, and people will tell you that this absolutely will work and that absolutely will not. But the reality is there are only a handful of things that we all need to do that actually move the needle, and the rest of it is pretty much just noise and quibbling over the details. So let's simplify the process and talk about the handful of things that will actually make a difference for us as independent artists. So first of all, the fundamental principle of success as an independent artist lies in two different things. Number one, make great music. And number two, tell people about it so that they can enjoy it. At its core, it really is that simple. And at its core, that's what marketing is all about. Have a great product, tell people about your product. If you have a great product and nobody knows about it, then nobody's going to enjoy it. If you tell everybody about a product that is crap, no one's going to enjoy it either. So you have to have both. But even though this principle of having a great product and telling people about it is very simple in its core, it doesn't mean it's easy. In fact, I would argue that success in music is actually more difficult than most other businesses, because everybody and their brother wants to be an artist or release music and succeed at that because it's cool. It's far less cool to start a pressure washing business or a lawn care business. That's not nearly as sexy as being an artist. So because everybody wants to succeed in this industry, you have to figure out how to cut through the noise. Now, the single most effective thing that any of us can do as independent artists to actually cut through that noise is to release more music. I always get pushback on this every single time I say it, but the fact is the most successful independent artists of today are releasing the most music. One song a week, one song every 2 weeks, once a month, once every 6 weeks. Granted, once a week is a lot of output. I certainly don't have that amount of output in my life. You probably don't either. If you can release a song every 2 weeks, that's great. If you can do every month, every 6 weeks, that's great too. The point is, the more you can put out, the higher your odds are of success, because every song that we put out is essentially taking a shot at the net, and the more shots we take at the net, the more likely something is going to go in and score some points for us. And on top of that, every single shot we take at the net, every single song we release, the better we become at actually making and releasing music and taking those shots at the net. If you sit there and shoot free throws over and over again, the more you do it, the more frequently they will go in, because the better you will get at the craft. So the more music you create and the more music you release, the better your odds are of actually succeeding as an independent artist. Now, the second thing that will really move the needle is to create more content. Again, the most successful independent artists of today are creating a ton of content on social media, notably short form video. If you can figure out how to master short form video, you will have such a higher chance of success as an artist than you will if you just sit back and don't do anything to promote your music. So step one, releasing more music, is creating better work, having a great product. The more music you create, the better your product becomes, the better your offering. Step number two, creating content, is actually telling people about that product. If you're not releasing a lot of music, or your music is trash, it doesn't matter how much content you create. No one's going to enjoy your work in the first place. But if you're doing the first step and you're releasing a lot of music and becoming better at your craft, then creating a lot more social media content around it will help to drive traffic to that music. And on top of that, just like with music, the more social media content we create, the better we get at actually creating it. The more effective we become as storytellers, the better we are at crafting hooks, the better we are at actually turning attention from the video or post or whatever we make to our music and getting people over there. The whole system improves, and we improve at it the more we do it. And the third thing that actually moves the needle as an independent artist is to run paid ads. This is the only type of marketing that I would ever suggest anyone ever spend money on. I would not spend money on anything else, and I would only spend money on ads when it makes sense. So if you're running ads consistently but you're not creating content, your ads are probably not going to be as effective as they would be if you were creating more content. I firmly believe that an effective ad strategy is only as good as an effective content strategy. I mean, take it from me. I have gone all over the board with this. I have released a ton of content while running ads and seen really good growth as an artist. But then I've burned out and stopped creating content and continued to run my ads, and my growth has slowed a ton because I don't have that effective content strategy to complement the ad spend. The two work hand in hand. And in fact, ads are not just an effective way to start at the top of the funnel and send people to Spotify. They're actually highly effective at retargeting the people you send to Spotify with an offer to get their email or to sell some merch or some music. That's the true power of advertising. If we're just using it to send people to Spotify or wherever else, then we're actually only taking advantage of a small percentage of the power of these platforms. So ads aren't the entire game, but if you're gonna pay to play any game, they're the only game worth paying for. Now, I know that some of us are going to struggle with points 1 and 2. I certainly do. I run a full-time business. I have a family, a wife, kids. I have a ton of other obligations. So spending my life on the internet creating a ton of content and spending my life in the studio making song after song, putting one out every week is very difficult for me. I get it. If you fall into this same category like me, you've got other obligations and you can't turn out the same amount of music as, say, a 17-year-old, then ads serve as a way to supplement that output by spending a little bit of money where you can't spend your time. But the best strategy still is actually creating organic content. So as much of that as you can create, the better. Use ads to supplement that. So what do you think actually moves the needle as an independent artist? Have you seen something different in your experience? If so, let me know in the comments. If you want to see some more from me, check out this video right here. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.